It is easy to be tempted to think that you actually love God more than anything, but your priorities show what you really love. It is extremely crucial to make sure that God is a priority, to make sure that you put Him first, that you start the day with Him, that He is number one. That would assure you of His presence. That would charge you spiritually. The director of the enterprise, the director over all businesses, called me and he said, "We need your help. We need to install the windows for this big building. The president of the country is going to visit our city in about 6 months. And we need to make sure that this building is ready. All the glass that was difficult glass, it was glass that had wire in the glass, a mesh of wire in the glass, difficult to cut, and it takes special tools. We need to make sure that all the glass, all the windows to this big building are installed and all is painted and all the furniture to be ready when the president comes. The building should be nice and ready." So he said, "You need to finish everything in about 3 months, so then we have time to paint and do the rest of the work." I said, "Sure, I can do that." Well, I went to work every day, but I went only mornings because in the evening I would go to school. And then Saturday I didn't go because it was Sabbath. Sunday I didn't go because it was Sunday. Monday when I went to work, the engineer, not the director of the enterprise, but the engineer that would supervise the work around the building, the engineer came to me and I said, "Pavel, you didn't come Saturday or Sunday to work." And I smiled and I joked. I said, "Well, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, Saturday belongs to God and Sunday belongs to Caesar. And I'm not about to break any of them. Saturday I go to church, Sunday I go in park and play soccer." So I keep both. It's not that I keep both days, just that I would enjoy both days. He said, "You joke? We don't have time to joke. We work every day. We work to finish. And you need to come from now on Saturday and Sunday and evenings every day. We need to make sure that we finish." I told him, No. I will finish. And I'm willing to come Sundays because it's a work day. But Saturday, I go to church. It's my day that I worship. I cannot come. He got so angry. "I am the boss. I am the engineer. You come. If you don't come and we are late, we are all going to lose our jobs because of you. So I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to cut your salary. I'm going to fire you." I said, "You don't fire me because you need me to cut the glass. And you cannot cut my salary because I work." He was very angry. Next Saturday, again I didn't go. Or any other Saturday. I never went to work on Saturdays. He got so frustrated. It was like I was defying him. He was the engineer. He was the boss. And he commanded me. He ordered me. He imposed, "You must come." And I said, "No, I'm not going to come." And I told him, "Don't worry, I will finish." I prayed and asked for God's presence and help. And I moved like Superman, really fast, cutting the glass. And I had a team of people helping me to install the glass. And we finished 3 months of work in literally less than a month. We finished the work. Well, average salary in that time, I don't remember precisely, but was about 2,000, 2,400, 500. But if you measure the glass and you pay so much per meter or per square foot or whatever is the measurement in the place where you work, I was supposed to be paid a little over 6,000, basically 3 months salary in less than a month. The engineer was so angry. "I don't get that type of money and I am an engineer. And you will make 3 months salary in 1 month or less? I'm not going to pay you. And you didn't even come Saturdays to work. You ignored me. You defied me." And he said, "Because you didn't come on Saturdays, I'm going to cut your salary." And he did. He actually cut my salary. It was very, very unfair, very frustrating. When you work and you don't get your salary, that's very frustrating. It's not right. It's not just. So I went to the director of the whole enterprise, the one who called me, the one who asked for help to begin with. And I said, "You called me. You told me to finish in 3 months. I finished in 1 month. I did quality faster than the time that you gave me. And the engineer cut my salary, didn't pay me my money that I worked for. Well, the director of the enterprise said, that's impossible. If you did the work, you get your money. I said, oh, he cut my salary. That's impossible. And by the way, I don't have time today. I am busy. I have meetings. The prime minister is supposed to come before the president comes to make sure that everything is right. So I'm sorry. If you want to talk about salary, come tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. But don't come later than 8 because I have meetings. Around 8:30, I start meetings. 8 o'clock sharp, we are going to look into it. And if you did the work and if you did quality, you'll get paid. But if you don't come at 8, don't come at all. Well, I have a cousin. I have many cousins, but one of them that used to come quite often to my house, and we always talked about soccer, about tennis, about gymnastics. We talked about bicycles, we talked about motorcycles, we talked about cars, and we always talked a little too much. That night again, my cousin came, and we talked the whole night. I had a habit, and that's a good habit to have. Every morning, I wake up early and spend time in prayer and study. That morning, because I went to sleep very late, I didn't wake up. I didn't spend time prayer or study. When I woke up, it was almost 8 o'clock. I knew that if I stay and pray and study, I'm not going to be in time for the meeting with the director of the enterprise. But if I go and I get on my bicycle and go really fast, I may get it there in time and get my 6,000. So what should I do? What would you do? Pray and lose 3 months' salary, lose 6,000? By the way, money that I worked for in 1 month. Or don't pray, say a quick prayer. God forgives, God understands. You don't need to put him first every day. And go and make sure that you get your money. I said, it's not a sin. God loves me anyway. So I just said a quick prayer and I left. But then it came in my mind. What do you put first? God or money? And I said, oh, absolutely, I put God first. Well, then why do you leave then? If you put God first, then you stay and spend time with God. If you leave to make sure that you get your money, then you put money first. So I wanted to make sure that I put God first. And so many times we fool ourselves. We say you put God first, but we put actually money first or anything else. So instead of leaving, I actually prayed, and I prayed for about 2 hours or more. And then I knew it doesn't make sense to go because it is too late, and the director told me 8 o'clock, not later. But God impressed me in my mind, go. So I got on my bicycle. I went there. When I got there, it was the first room where the secretary was, and from that room, you would enter the room where the director was. And the secretary said to me, Mr. Goia, I'm so glad that you knew and you didn't come. I said, well, what to know? And she said, you don't know? The prime minister came last night. And in the morning, around 7 a.m., they met and they went out to restaurant to eat, and they just came back and they started to talk. So if you came 8 o'clock, he would have been gone with the prime minister eating breakfast. And then when he came back, he would not have time for you because he's in the meeting with the prime minister. So come in a different day. I was so glad that I didn't give up God and come here and come for nothing because the director was busy with the prime minister. But while the secretary was talking to me, the director, in that moment, not earlier, not later, in that moment when I was there, the director went out from the meeting to go to the restroom. And he saw me there and he says, oh, I am so sorry that you had to wait here since 8 o'clock. I was ready to tell him I just came, but he interrupted me. He said, don't worry, I'm going to have my secretary do research, and if you worked, you'll get your money. Well, a week later, I got my salary. And then when I went shopping in the market, I met the engineer. And he told me that he got fired because he didn't pay me my salary. I thought about it. What a joy to put God first at any price and trust that he will take care of you. And he will take care of you.